Remember days I was racing, to get a name trying to make it. Now my youngers on the same shit. Told them slow up, be patient. Secure the bag, get your wave lit, cause to get back is amazing. 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 Secure the bag, get your wave lit, cause to get back is amazing. Told them slow up, be patient, cause to get back is amazing. To get back is amazing.
You are listening to the Most Slept On Radio Show, broadcasting live, WJYN 98.5 FM. If you like any additional information about tonight's show, guests, host, or to help fund the restoration of the historic Uptown Theater, please send an email to info@mostslepton.com, info@mostslepton.com. Now, back to our show with your host, Sam Malone, Sipping with Sammie on Most Slept On Radio.
Hi, this is Linda Richardson, President of the Uptown Entertainment and Development Corporation. The Uptown Entertainment and Development Corporation is a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization and is the owner of the historic Uptown Theater and WJYN 98.5 FM. The restoration of the Uptown Theater into a multimedia tech center needs your help. We are requesting donations to restore the Uptown Theater to preserve R&B history and renovate the theater into a performing arts venue. For more information, call 215-236-1878 or visit philadelphiauptowntheater.org and make an online donation.
Most Slept On Radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. It is Wednesday evening. It is after the 7 o'clock hour and before the 9 o'clock hour, so we in the Situation Room. I am Sipping with Sammie, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, get your life together. Right. And I'm on a, you heard what I did there? I'm on the air with 15. I'm on the air with my guy Teef. You know what I'm saying? Latifius Maximus.
What's going on, man? How's everybody feeling out there? Good.
And in the background, you heard already, that's Big Cuz.
Big Cuz, what up?
The biggest cousin there was, according to him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we already got our guests in the room with us, man. We got Chill Moody and Wes Manchild in the Situation Room with us, man.
It's good.
What's up with y'all?
I appreciate the applause. I appreciate the applause effect.
Well deserved, man. It's well deserved, man. Y'all situated? Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. What's up?
We was just in here kicking it before we got on air, talking about flavor profiles and things that's right up my alley. Because I am sipping with Sammie. I do love a good brew. And one of the things that Chill has had going on for the last, year?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years now, yeah.
Is you have your own beer through Dockside?
Dock Street.
Yep. Through Dock Street Brewery. And that's major to me. One, because I look forward to having my own one day.
Right.
But just I've always watched how you market it and how you promote it and how you moved your brand and the nice things and all of that. And even when performing, how you say nice things. You know what I mean? So you say nice things is actually the quote, right?
Right.
What inspires you? How do these things come about? What's the thought process when it comes to your marketing for your brand?
I can't stand still. Like that's
so
really
it's
what
just
it is.
ADD.
I'm not one of them self-diagnosed type people, but you know, if I really sat down with somebody and they really diagnosed it, it'll probably come up.
It'll be close. You'll be somewhere on somebody's spectrum.
Yeah, probably. It's really just that. I just want everybody to enjoy nice things. I always try to find a way to connect my lifestyle to everyone else. I feel like, you know, I have a lot of fun with my life, and I feel like, you know, if people lived more like me, they'd have a lot of fun. So
make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's really just a lot of natural extensions of really what I do.
What was your first piece of merch? Besides maybe a t-shirt.
Besides the shirts and like the typical stuff. So we had shirts, the hoodies, the Scullies.
Which
how
are
it
all
started.
good things. We're not discrediting any of those things.
Sure. So it started that way.
That's the culture.
We went from there. I think shot glasses was the next thing we did.
Wow,
we
I
had
got
nice
shot
thing
glasses.
shot glasses.
That's
I gotta
crazy.
get on the wave, man.
I got shot glasses.
Sorry,
I didn't even know
man.
Chill had shot
Yeah,
glasses.
we had
That's
nice
dope.
thing shot glasses, and then
And shot glasses do well, by the way.
Yeah, they
People
were great.
collect them like
Yeah.
they used to collect
Yeah,
spoons.
people love them.
It's real.
And then we did after the shot glasses, we had the watches. So we had I did a partnership with this company called Joy, and we did these nice things, signature watches.
Oh, that's
I remember
They
the
went
watches.
well. They were selling them in like Nordstrom's online and
Dope.
QVC. They did really well.
Dope.
And then I don't know. You fast forward and we had a beer.
And it's just all lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what it is. Nice Things is a lifestyle brand. So
Mm-hmm.
my goal with it, just not to go too deep too early, but people always be like, "Yo, Chill, you doing too much. Like you rap. How do you got a beer? Or you rap? Why you doing this?" And I'm like, Nice Things is a brand. Like you don't say that to Polo when they got bowls and spoons
Yeah, I was about to say,
and sheets.
that's kind of offensive.
Polo
Like,
got
why are
5
you doing
different
more
brands
than-
within the brand. You got Ralph
I mean,
Sport.
you-
Come
you-
on, man.
Nautica got bed sheets and
If
hoodies.
somebody said that
and
to me,
so-
I think I would get a little offended.
Well,
man.
see,
Like, why
but
you
no,
not saying
but
I'm
it-
doing more
no,
than
I'm not.
Actually-
It's not
staying in the box.
offended. It's just I gotta understand that you're not thinking how I'm
Right.
thinking.
You should
So I
think
need
the
to-
opposite,
I need to
actually.
educate you.
Yeah.
know what I
You
mean?
should think the opposite because
Yeah.
it's that person's short-sightedness.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
how they view what they can do.
and it's
You know what I
because of
mean?
that. It's
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of that short-sightedness. That
Yeah, short-sightedness.
that
thank you.
that when I do these things, it's like all grandiose. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like, dog, I'm just doing what the blueprint showed me to do. Like,
Yeah,
this is
you
what
got a
brands
plan.
do.
I'm gonna do this, and you made it happen.
Bean
Where-
said, I'm on my power move. S. Shower shoes. Like,
Yep.
I heard what
I
he was
remember
saying.
that.
Like, movies, labels, cartoons, etc.
Etc.
Like,
Yeah.
I heard all of that. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I thought we was all doing. You know what
But
I mean?
at the end of the day, it's about your intention and your outcome when
Right.
it's about your brand.
Right.
Because everybody thinks that everything is for you to be Lil Wayne. I always use that as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like, marketing is a big thing. You know what I
Indeed.
mean? It's sometimes the
Indeed.
smallest things. I might not have made a profit off of this,
Right.
but I see the residuals that came from it. I keep seeing it come up again. I still see
Yeah.
people 5 years later with the same shirt on
Mm-hmm.
or whatever have you, and it served the purpose that I needed it for.
Right.
Now, what you might want out of what you do or where you spend your money at might be different,
Yeah.
but you're not looking long term, and that's why I call it
Right.
short-sightedness, as you corrected me
Yeah,
on.
no, you're right.
You know what I mean? But Wes Manchild, what's up with you, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Smooth ass West.
You know what I mean? Wes is sitting there happy that we ain't started talking to him yet. That's why I went right to him, because I'm looking at him like, yeah, keep talking to Chill.
I'm chilling, man. I'll let Chill go through it. His
Wes
whole
Manchild,
movie.
man, producer. I saw Educator.
Yeah.
Can we get into that?
That's why I'm a little tired, man.
Yeah, that's what you just got done educating the folks.
Yeah, trying to educate these youth in
Yeah.
some way.
Let's do a
And-
good
and
job.
what way-
They do a good job.
In what way specifically?
I teach history.
You teach history class? What kind of history?
Basically, whatever history I want. I got a curriculum, but I do what I want.
Yeah?
So
Dope. No, because it's necessary, because I hated history class because they didn't teach me things that I believe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew the difference. Like, that don't even add
My
up.
class is basically Black history. They gave me a book, but I just
Well, American history is black history.
That's how my history.
The history
class
of the
was. You
world
one of them
is black
teachers,
history.
Like, that's how my history class was. We
Yeah.
just did all black history.
And I was
went to
lucky
a
enough
black
to
high
have a
school.
couple, but you need that.
Yeah.
yeah. So
You
it's
remember them
American history,
teachers.
but I just
Yeah.
say, all right, I tell my curriculum, yeah, all right, cool, but we're gonna look at what Black people are doing during this time. So I mean, my school, I teach at Southwest, so
Yeah.
gotta do Black
Yeah,
history.
Yeah.
it has to be relative to keep the attention.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. Like, that's part of education, learning different ways to keep the attention of the class, and knowing that everybody doesn't learn the same way and everybody doesn't
Exactly.
operate the same way.
Yeah.
Which goes back to what we talk about with Chill and how people perceive the moves that he makes. Everybody doesn't operate or think the same way. Everybody doesn't have the
I
same
see
goals.
it every day. I gotta deal with that all different types of folks. That's why I was actually laughing when you said,
ADD.
got an ADD.
I'm joking because I hate to throw that
No,
around
but
because they label us a
But I
lot.
know
But,
him, so I
Wes
know.
know.
and that's why Chill said he didn't want to self-diagnose because we know what it is. But
But
yeah.
people tend to think, ADD. Most of the smartest people have ADD. Like, you have to think in different ways. Everybody basically.
Well, I
I
mean-
don't want to go Kanye, but it's it's my superpower.
Yeah, but I mean,
when
when you really look at the breakdown of what they're saying ADD is and who they're saying has it, they're saying young black males can't sit still and concentrate while you are sitting there teaching them one specific way of learning that is not conducive to where their headspace is at.
Yeah.
And
So,
then on top
so
of that
that's a
is-
problem
it's
for
not
them
enough
being
conversation.
children.
Did you just pull out? You
He
just
put
had
I don't
this?
know what Cuz just did.
He
I
got
don't
a
know
whole.
what Cuz just did.
So for the listeners and the viewers, Cuz just pulled out
The
a
definition?
Well, that's,
No, not just the definition. It's
whole
an
pack.
87-page pamphlet printout on mental health. It's a mental health.
That was
resource
already
guide.
sitting out, actually. He just turned to the page.
Nah, he had this in his pocket. I
That's
watched it.
crazy.
He pulled this out of his bag.
Oh, it was in his pocket.
Attention deficit hyperactive
yeah, that's
disorder.
different. That's ADHD.
That's ADHD.
That's ADHD.
Those are kids who really can't sit down. ADD, I see like sometimes kids that just drift. And sometimes they might still be listening, but they're just drifting. Just gotta kind of bring them back.
I used to
They
drift.
thinking.
Multitask.
I used to drift,
Yeah.
but when the teacher used to be scared to turn her back on the class, she used to let me teach math.
Every,
Well, I think society is different now, though.
once the way society is, everybody has it.
Society's
Because you multitask,
different, yeah.
you look at your phone. Like you just can't watch
These
TV
kids-
anything anymore.
These
You gotta
kids are
look
on the
down.
phone, the tablet,
Yeah.
the game, all at the
At
same,
the same time.
Yeah.
And they up on everything
And
that
then
they're
you gonna put
doing.
them in the room and they just like, like, what they gonna do? Like, what
No,
you
the
see
funniest thing is when you put a ball in their hand and tell them to run real fast. But anyway, we from a different generation, man. Different things mattered when we was coming up. You wanted to be the fastest guy on the block.
Right?
Remember we used to be in the
Yeah,
middle
that
of the
was the
street
thing.
racing,
Yeah. Pull the pull.
barefoot, whatever. Like
Pull
you
the
just
pull.
race, like
Flipping, race.
Hold on.
Flipping.
I got-
flipping. You always
I
had the
seen him
flippers.
race. I saw him race somebody at a bus stop
You saw a chill
on
race.
road down to A3C, and I think it was for a pair of sneakers or something.
No,
I don't
no.
know.
Oh, it's racing
I
for
remember
kicks?
that. So
I
no,
like this
so
story.
I remember this. We was I forgot about that too.
Say
We were
that.
on the way on a bus trip down to A3C. We stop at a rest stop, I think in like South Carolina or something. And the promoter of the show was just happened to have took the bus trip with us. He's like, "Yo, I got 15 extra minutes of showtime for y'all. We gonna race around this lot, and whoever wins, gets the extra
Oh, word?
showtime."
Oh,
Makes
word.
So
interesting.
I'm like, I'm racing just for the hell of it. Like I'm with it. Like
Yeah, I mean, you
anytime
got to.
you ask me, I'm with it.
You already called me out.
But
now,
I already
right?
know I'm gonna win, so I'm like, I don't need the extra time. I get a time to somebody, but I'm just going.
Yeah.
So we race around the whole joint, and like, it was so bad that I crossed the finish line backwards. Like that's how much faster.
Cuz, you
I
saw
was.
this, Cuz? Hold up. I need a witness. Was he backwards, Cuz?
Yeah, it was Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah,
Oh, he
that's
did the
DJ.
Deshaun?
Yeah, yeah.
With the
The
DJ.
DJ
Like,
pump.
like,
He didn't
they were
fall
cheating.
over, but,
People were
like-
cheating. They were going, cutting
Cutting
across the
corners.
grass and all of that.
Right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
I don't
And you
need to do all
still
that.
won?
Yeah.
Yo, man. But
I come from that, like, that era was like, yo, let's just race. Like, for
Yeah.
nothing. Like,
Yeah.
we're just racing.
I mean,
Why not?
bragging rights used to be a thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't based on fake flashy. You know what I mean?
Right,
it was
right,
it was
right.
literally based on head-to-head competition on
Uh-huh.
whatever it was. I had friends, I introduced them to each other one day. They gambled on cards, Sega, basketball, and something else all in one day. Like, every time one got over on one, all right, well, let's do this.
Let's bet this.
All right, well, let's bet
Right,
this.
right.
Well, let's bet.
Yeah.
And they
Remember
did that
on,
all day.
On Major League, the two boys that just be going at it the whole time on
Yeah.
stats and all of that. and in the dugout.
I mean,
that-
with competition, that's just the way it was. But even back then, but I noticed the difference. Like youngest now, they don't do all that.
No,
Mm-hmm.
they have better entrepreneurial spirits as far as business-minded goes, but the competition level isn't
It's
there.
just it's just not. It's not always that wanna be. Oh, I'm the best at this. Like they always look at it like it's too confrontational. A lot of people are. They don't know how to deal with that. Yeah, and everybody's all, let's all link together. But even in small things, is what I see in the kids. I see every day.
I'm about to say.
They, well, their competition is all online with video games and everything. That's the only thing they know. But like actual physical stuff, it's just everyday little things.
But you touched on something important because when I said non-confrontational, you said not knowing how to deal with those things. These are social skills.
Yeah.
And these are things that are lacking and are falling off.
Yeah.
Oh, heavy.
And it's reflected in their Instagram posts. It's reflected in their music. But when it comes to capitalizing on potential, they seem to got that down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they came up during a time where they are a part of the machine that a lot of us are still learning and navigating
Well,
from an outside level.
There's also the other side of that. The people that have studied how to use these new mechanisms know how to capitalize on
Algorithms and stuff.
on the they look at these kids as prey at times. It's like, all
Absolutely.
right, I know I can manipulate
Okay.
him. I know I can get him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said on the album, I say they don't want to see you winning, but there's a bigger picture to little Kodak.
Right.
Talking about, Kodak, like they don't want to
Right,
see you
right. I
winning,
know
but it's
exactly
like,
what you mean.
there's a bigger picture to Kodak. It's a reason why certain artists are getting
The play that
certain
they
looks
getting.
Yeah.
from certain labels. It's agendas that they push and things like that. and some of these people are blinded to the agenda by the opportunity, blinded by the money, the fame, the flash,
And
the
that's
stuff
something-
that
Like
they,
the carrot on the string
Yeah.
in front of the
But
dome.
that's
like,
something
but
that
it's
I
like a
speak
carrot
to
on
all
the
the
string, and that's
time.
all you ever wanted was that carrot. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm good then.
But I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I speak to all the time from the perspective of if you come from nothing and you don't trust nobody where you from, except day ones or whatever you call them. How do you get into an industry and somebody say we family and you believe them?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they're doing the same thing that was the negative part of some blocks, whereas they're looking at this kid like, well, I could put him out there, he could do whatever, and he can mess up, and I'm gonna come up.
But
And whatever happens with him, happens with
that,
him.
That family word, that's the trigger. That's the
It's
you can
something
grab
that they
somebody
need.
that if you tell somebody, yo, we
'Cause they
like
need that.
family, and they might not have grown up with a father, they might not have grown up with family.
And then they're in a position
They know
that
what
they never
family,
been at.
yeah,
Like,
but they know what family's
and I
supposed to
understand
be.
Yeah.
But they really might not have never experienced that. So you tell them, yo, we fam, this is fam. You gotta just go by what you know from family. If Big Cuz will pull out the pamphlet and show you what family, the definition of family, and you thinking, all right, well, he just told me we are, bonded by this. He's
Yeah.
going to be truthful with me. This is and then when you get hurt, it's kind of the same as family because family hurts you the most.
And that's the thing, like and I feel like a lot of MCs, especially when you talk about getting in the rap game and being going into corporate institutions. A lot of these guys are young, but a lot of them are grown too. You know what I mean? And we have experience, and we learn a lot from the experiences of others in the past. And they said rule number 4080. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit, a long time ago.
Like this, and it's been repeated more abruptly and more boldly since then.
Yeah.
And we've seen great suffer from it, and then it becomes the who the heck are you to think it can't happen to you?
At this point,
But like you said, it's the
nobody
carrot.
should be really getting screwed if you study history. Just look at what happened in the past. It's been a repeat, not even from hip hop. You go back to the R&B to the 50s, 60s.
Well, this
70s.
is a matter of having
It's been a common thing.
They're taking that initiative to do the reading and
Yeah.
seeing what the laws are. Right here to interrupt, we gotta take this station ID
Oh, yeah,
real
let's
quick.
do that.
We're gonna come right back.
98.5 FM.
Radio show with your host, Sam Malone, Sipping with Sammie, broadcasting live from the Uptown Theater.
Hi, this is Linda Richardson, president of the Uptown Entertainment and Development Corporation. The Uptown Entertainment and Development Corporation is a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization and is the owner of the historic Uptown Theater and WJYN 98.5 FM. The restoration of the Uptown Theater into a multimedia tech center needs your help. We are requesting donations to restore the Uptown Theater to preserve R&B history and renovate the theater into a performing arts venue. For more information, call 215-236-1878 or visit philadelphiauptowntheater.org and make an online donation.
Most slept on radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM, Sam Malone, Barstool Rook, still in the Situation Room with Wes Manchild and Chill Moody. Still got Teef on the board, still got Cuz in the cut, still got K holding us down, and Post somewhere in the background laughing at Cuz right now. But
Those haircuts crack me up. Always thinking like High Quality and Mos Def first album.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear it, I automatically think that's class.
That's funny. But no, before we went to the break, we were talking about something that actually sparked a question for you, Wes Manchild. And I know you didn't come here to just talk about your teaching. But I know you teach history, but do you discuss current things and current events with your students at any point during the day? And do you learn from their perspective? What have you learned that we wouldn't know, that we wouldn't be hip to?
I basically make it a point in my class to do a lot of current events. I do it like basically out of 5 days, like 2 days a week.
Okay.
Well, really, I make them watch student news every day. The CNN student news thing they do. But then I also, I show them like Vice documentaries. I show them.
Because you could tie the past and the now anyway.
I show them everything. I realize a lot of these kids, I don't know if it's the area they're from or just the era where kids don't go outside, but a lot of these kids are way more sheltered. and just general things about street smarts. Like I showed them the Drugs Inc. Episode from Philly about Kensington. A lot of these kids Southwest, they had first of all no idea what Kensington was, had no idea what those drugs were, and I'm thinking, all right, I came up in the 80s, like not too far from here, 19th for Cumberland North.
Right.
Like I knew we were educated because I saw it every day. Like I knew street smarts and everything because I lived there. So it's like these kids are really, really sheltered and don't have the street smarts and just a lot of things in general. So it's just I try to incorporate a lot of things that they just don't see because they need some type of they need just to know what's going on in the world just every day. And a lot of times hearing their ideas, I mean, a lot of these kids are really shook about a lot of stuff that's going on too.
Okay.
And they, they worry about certain things, especially me teaching Southwest. I teach a lot of African kids. Like when Trump got elected, a lot of those kids were really worried. Right. They were like, yo,
rightfully
my parents going to be out of here? Yeah. Is this going to happen? And this is not something that like a lot of people, who are born in America think of. But when you're teaching a lot of immigrants and children of immigrants, it has a whole different meaning about that. So it's a lot of stuff, and you got to.
So you feel like you learn a lot from the kids as well?
As far as their culture stuff, I mean, because where I'm at, it's the African population, so I learned a lot of stuff about just Africa, just little general things, just differences between the culture, but just about what they up on. Like as far as music, I don't tell. They find out I do music usually halfway through the year. I don't tell them in the beginning. Some of them who have older brothers might have had me say, "Yeah, man, I heard you a DJ," and I'm like, "No, I'm not a DJ."
Right.
Yo, can you bring your friends up here and all this other stuff? And I'm just do your work, like just chill. But they put me up on a lot of like new artists and stuff like that.
Who would they put you on that you appreciated? Top couple.
The boy Don Q.
Don Q's dope. Met Don
down because all those were loving A Boogie and all that, but one of the cool young boys who actually was on right, he's like, no,
Don is spitter.
Don, yo, he could rap. So he showed me that. It's a couple other people. For the most part, it's a lot of they love like all those like Ludfo, and the youngest love G Herbo. A lot of these kids. They the first people who put me on the Rico Havoc, obviously, because they was Southwest and those kids were out there. So before he blew up,
shout out to Rico,
So it's a lot of things. Usually the dudes put me on the stuff. A lot of the girls sometimes just like they teenage girls, so they like a lot of teeny pop. One thing I have noticed,
they like
though,
P&B rock.
Yeah, a lot of them not so much anymore.
Oh, all right.
One thing I've noticed though, a lot of the smarter kids usually like the better hip hop. Like my kids who are like in the smart class would be the ones who love J. Cole and all the other stuff, even though they 13 and 14. Yeah. And you'll hear the other, man, he whack. And I'm like,
but I just was watching an interview with Flex, Dave East, and Styles, and they would, just discussing. Styles brought up the fact that it's really about if you ask everybody top 5, we might have similarities, but it's going to be different people within each one because of who they relate to more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, he said, for instance, he heard that somebody said that Mace was better than him. But he said, if you look at this person, do you think they would hang out with me or do you think they would hang out with Mace?
Yeah.
And a lot of things comes down to that. So when it comes to perspective and wanting to hear introspective music, you got to have a brain to keep up with it.
I don't question anybody
or even care about
when they bring up they prefer. Like me going to school in Atlanta changed all that for me. Because going down there back in that.
I was in Baltimore. I had to get used to go and club music. I get it.
So going down there with P first popped in that era and all that when the South first came up, like my top 5 and my thing was different when I'm talking from dudes from New Orleans and from Georgia, from Alabama. So
and
I was
you couldn't be mad at them for their 5.
At first, because you close minded, I'm like, yo, like my one of my best friends, his roommate was from Oakland. His roommate was from Oakland. All he was doing, man, be legit this. E40 this. And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about?
I had to warm up to them cats.
Then I started respecting that, being around them and hearing them and getting their idea of where they're from and why they like it. I'm like, all right, I see why you bang with this.
But do these personal exchanges still happen? Like, I remember not knowing anything about T.I. and not being a fan of T.I. And I love Tip now. But there was a time where I didn't know anything about him. And my homie loved T.I. And when we used to elevate together, he would bring through a different T.I., best of T.I. that he made. I used to make your own playlist. And we would elevate to it, and when he would leave, he'd be like, that's yours. And eventually, I wound up respecting Tip because I kept hearing quality T.I. things. You know, he was picking out the best of the best. And it's the same way when somebody's from New Orleans and they like, well, I like such and such, and I like Pastor Troy. And you like, well, I know the one song from Pastor Troy, and that was kind of wild. And then they play you something when he talking something you might relate to, or you be like, I didn't even know he did this. So then you kind of got to respect it. But I think now they might just send files and links. It might not be the
what happens,
the internet,
the energy exchange.
That's what I was about to say. So what happens is you go back to how you first heard Pastor Troy. You probably heard Cutting. That's the mainstream John. That's the one that was out there.
What you know,
the internet has made it so there's. I mean, it's still a mainstream, but it's easier to get the album cut. It's easier to find out what else this guy's about as opposed to what whoever is backing him wants you to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you might not have known that T.I. was on what he's on. He's heavy on black empowerment and things like that. But you might not know that if you just listen to Time Serious or 24s or whatever. You don't know that.
If you just see 24s, you don't know about. I still like
another one. Exactly.
Well, and for us being from up here,
like, but then when you hear "Don't Hate Me, Shorty," even
or
if you
I still ain't
Shorty,
forgave myself.
Exactly. And then
his first album was basically done by the Neptunes, which a lot of people ain't hear.
Yeah, right. And that was a dope project, especially for where he was at that time. But I mean, even visually, when you watch 24s, for him to be such a street dude, for us to be from up here, he looked silly at first. He was doing a lot of bouncing around and a whole lot of head movements. And I think he toned that down. I think somebody might have pulled his coattail to it. But I mean, like initially you see what you see. And we know how visuals are.
Right.
Things are to fit the moment and the track, and we supposed to go with that.
Right,
so whatever somebody gets from that is what they get from that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like you said, the internet does open it up for that library.
It gives it so it gives it a chance. So now you get to choose what you want to listen to, as opposed to being forced to listen to what they want you to listen to.
That's why
you
I
get
hate
to
people that complain
develop
about
your
what's
own.
on the radio.
But
it's like you don't have to listen.
Who listens to the radio?
You
got a
literally
phone
don't
full of
have
music.
to listen no more.
No, you
like
don't.
you used to have to. You only could hear certain things listening to the radio. That was the only way you was gonna hear what was new.
5 to
You
7
had to
songs.
tune in.
Radioactive back in the day.
Radioactive, yeah.
Get your blank tapes out.
Come up show.
Get that
Come up
90
show,
minute
right.
joint.
Radioactive for me, 8 to 7 when 8 to 10 when Rand was on.
Oh yeah.
Cosmic Cab came on after Rand.
And now it's
So
like
that
guys
was
ain't
4
even
hours.
4 hours of heat.
guys ain't even saving their records for that moment anymore. Like it's just like you're
But
not
one
giving a
thing
DJ
about the whole internet thing, because like I flashback, because I always say my time in school was like I think the best time in hip hop. I was down there from 97 2001, so that's when the South first came up everything.
I
But
graduated high school in
back
97.
then it was like the regionalism was the best thing, because I went to school.
That's what I
my
was
girl
doing.
from my freshman year was from Memphis. She put me on a 3-6 in 97. I'm like, what is this? Boys from New Orleans, even though P was popping, they were like, hold up, but these dudes, the hot boys, they the next dudes coming up. Dudes from LA, dudes from Texas, like Screw and all them. So it was like you meet all these people, and basically you got put onto everything, and everybody had their own sound. Like parties down there, the DJs would have to play a set from everywhere to please everybody. Whereas, and that was their own thing. Like up New York, everybody had their own style, which was cool. Like now though, everything is so watered down. But I mean, it's just like everybody sounds like everybody else.
Blended.
But it used to
it's
be a
blended.
thing to find that pocket of exclusivity, though.
Right.
That's why I used to like.
And
you
now
knew a
there is
sound.
no exclusivity.
You knew a Texas record. You knew a Cali record.
And I
you
mean,
knew a
even like,
Midwest
I
record.
remember
They had
going
their
on
own
bus
sound,
trips
their
to
own
New
sound.
York and couldn't wait for the swap meet part so I can get the Clue tapes that we ain't had back here. And I was bootlegging Clue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was coming back
You
to
knew
Hit
what
Rock.
you
had 'em.
Based
Like,
on
be
where
real,
somebody
like
was from
that.
in New York, different boroughs had different sounds. You
Sounds.
knew a Queens, you knew a Bronx, you knew a Brooklyn rap. Like you
Well,
knew
all
different
that
things.
goes back to the internet thing
Yeah.
and what you influenced by. So you don't got the opportunity to be as influenced as you are now with back then as you do now. Like you can listen. Like it's a reason that A$AP Rocky can sound like the guys from Houston,
Right.
Because he literally can be influenced by that without
Yeah, he
even
can
having
grow
to
up
leave his room. He
watching
can
that.
grow up living Houston. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we didn't have that. It took. I can remember probably around the time of like the Hot Boys, maybe like Nelly was like the first time I really start getting into like other cultures and understanding like everybody's pocket sounded different.
For me, it was when my sister went to college because she went to Clark in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's
and
why I
I
went.
was in 9th grade. But she came back, Ice Cream Man, and all of that. You know what I mean? Things that like we wasn't checking for Pete at all.
Shout out to
I was up
Leroy.
on
At
it.
all.
I'm telling you,
You know
my
what I mean?
freshman years when that album came out, and I tell nobody I've never seen a movement take over a region like No Limit. My freshman and sophomore year, we
They
were
came out
dissing
heavy,
it.
yo.
We were like, what is this garbage? And then like by the second month of school, I'm like, yo, they gotta play P at this party because you seen like
what it
dudes'
do.
energy. And No Limit had the CDs with like 1 million upcoming albums. And you knew Mercedes.
No, remember when Jack used to have 20 albums and you
Slim.
found out BG already had 9 albums before you knew who he was?
Right.
Like, hold up.
Been dropping stuff.
Every month was
he
a
been
new
carrying
album.
the label?
And they had the posters. Yo, I'm telling you, one of my roommates worked at like one of the Blockbuster Muses back then. So
Yeah.
we used to get all the CDs. He would come back, yo, I got that new low. All they said was that new No Limit. They ain't never say the artist. They would just say, got that
didn't
new
matter.
No Limit. And they would have
It was
like
the same production.
20 songs and 3 of them would be banging. All they cared about was those 3 banging songs because it would rock the party.
And the speakers in the system in their car.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it was just about that bop and that southern energy.
But I went through something similar when I was in Baltimore, and you know, like we had club in Philly.
That Baltimore
a
club
little
music
bit,
another
but
level.
Baltimore club is way different,
And it's its own thing,
it's
but
2
it's
hours
like-
out the
It's
party.
another level.
Then it was go-go because you gotta respect
Or the
that they
DC
15
go-go.
minutes away.
Right.
But when I went to a live go-go,
It's the best party you could ever go to.
have you
in your
ever
life.
been to a live
Yo,
go-go
always
chill?
love
Nah.
go-go. Even
First of
before
all,
I never been.
Let me give you a disclaimer.
Best party ever.
Leave by 1:30.
yeah.
Like, is it
Every real go-go that's
Oh, it's
lit
going
gets shot
it's
up.
going, DC.
Every go-go that's lit gets
Oh, they
shot
about
up.
the gunplay. It was
The
a murder
bull-
capital back in the day.
I went to
so-
college with the kid Trey that used to run around with Wale all the time. Wale said I'm running around swinging
Trey,
Trey
UCB.
like
Yeah.
Okay.
UCB.
Yeah.
Trey got shot at a go-go when he was in college. Trey this big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
he
saying?
short,
Like he was
real
on
little.
crutches on the bridge.
Bobby
But,
Valentino looking bull.
But like a go-go, you talking about young black people playing live instruments
It's the
and
best
showing
thing
off.
ever.
Like you know what a black college band
Right,
is
right,
like.
right.
Just imagine they already cover everybody's stuff. So if something came out yesterday, they might throw that at like. And then when you see the women and the energy,
Oh, the
it's
DC
like if
women.
you don't want to get bounced around, just stay by the bar. But you want to be there.
And that energy.
And that made me
like,
respect the culture and the music
Right,
of it
right.
because I actually went to see the energy of it.
See,
like
now
he
you can
said,
just- you can just
you
watch it
get to the
on
point where you're like, you got to play that.
Yeah, like the
it.
Rare Essence, Backyard, all those
Backyard
joints. 'Cause
Band.
it was a lot of DC down in my school. So they had their own DC parties. And they had go-go parties down there. And the DJs just play nothing but go-go sets.
Nothing
And
but
you
it.
see the and I mean, I went to some go-go parties at
Do,
DC before when I was young. You hear that drop? And I always tell people it's the best party you've ever been to.
They said, everyone, you gotta
They started
go
grinding.
on, give me some of that
I used to rock with
thug
that-
passion. It go down when them
Yeah.
drums hit.
The water dance, all them joints.
Oh, the water dance?
water
Oh, the
dance.
water
Yeah.
dance. Or like,
And the thing is, some go-go did transition up this way. We just didn't identify it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
was
Outside of
born
doing
down
the
there,
butt.
So
like,
I had
you
my
can't
cousins
do like
put me
DJ
on
Cool
to
or
it.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. DJ Cool had a couple. Like it was some joints that
I
we
think he
got.
was the biggest dude.
But we considered it club music though.
Yeah.
We thought it was part of the Baltimore club set. Actually,
Yeah.
But the thing about that though, that also as far as like DC's music scene, that's why like you never really had a lot of rappers come out of DC that much because
They had their own
They
thing.
wanted to be go-go in a go-go band. They really didn't care about being rappers. That's why like when Wale first came out, I mean besides who like Nonchalant and like other people you really didn't care about back
Right.
in the day. But that was their own little pocket. They
Wale
wanted to-
Wale
on
found a good fusion, and he
found
took
the-
Trey
he
with
found
him.
the lane.
On a
And he
flip
took
side,
Trey with him.
it was us that was on the East Coast that was about the lyrics or
Oh, yeah.
about the real street or whatever, but it was what we could identify with. So that's
Yeah.
why when we start hearing Master P, when we start hearing E40, it's like, nah, this ain't
So
lyrical.
different. It didn't
Yeah.
feel like hip hop.
These guys.
But there was some street dudes.
dancing,
but
the
they ain't
street
make that
dudes
type of
dancing.
stuff, yeah.
It's like, nah, that's the culture up there.
Oh no,
Like,
we about
And that
bars.
came up
Yeah.
here now because they say like them kids in Brooklyn to dance and do something gangster 30 seconds later.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like it's different. Like you know what's funny nowadays that I noticed? You're not a good athlete. You're not a talented athlete if you can't dance. Like if you nice, you gotta be able to dance too. Or like
Or
I
to
mean,
get
I think it started with
poppin'.
LeBron and them, but like nowadays all these kids is dancing. Like everything is dancing. Gangsters to suckers. Everybody's dancing. I
Well,
like
we
it,
got
though.
dancing to this break real quick.
Let's dance into it.
We're gonna let Bob Davis speak. We on Most Slept On Radio, 98.5 FM, WJYN. We got Chill Moody and Wes Manchild in the building. Sipping with Sammie. Big Cuz in the cut. Well, no, KK's in the cut. Cuz, you in the cut too? Both of y'all in the
Cuz
cut
always in the
tonight.
cut. He took my seat.
I'm in the rocket chair.
We'll be right back, y'all. We'll be right back.
You are tuned in, Most Slept On Radio, broadcasting live from the Uptown Music Theater, WJYN 98.5 on your FM radio dial, with your host, your favorite cousin, Big Cuz. Big Cuz Live, and we'll be covering all things Most Slept On. All things? All things.
Hi, this is Bob Davis. I'm in charge of programming here at Uptown Radio WJYN 98.5 FM here in Philadelphia. Welcome to our new station. We're in test mode right now, but I invite you to stick around and be part of our growth. Our intent is to become your father's black radio station. By that I mean it's our intention to serve the community, much in the way that black radio stations did before they were taken over by the corporate radio power structure. For example, we've kicked off our programming with independent hip-hop, soul, jazz, and blues that's been ignored by corporate radio. However, we're going to be much more than just a music station. We're going to be a full-service information and entertainment platform serving you, your family, and your neighborhood, broadcasting from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., 7 days a week on 98.5. On the internet at PhiladelphiaUptownRadio.org, and of course you can catch us on social media. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or you'd like to join our team as a volunteer, a sponsor, or an artist, drop me an email by visiting our website at PhiladelphiaUptownRadio.org. Put Program Director in the subject line. Now, back to the music.
Philadelphia, stand up. Y'all ready? I hope so.
If I say it, then I mean it. Unapologetic, I ain't giving them no reason. Misleading our people, tired of us being mistreated. Here we standing up, we refuse to be defeated.
I'm the breaking news that interrupts the TV show. Brutal honesty, I feed them what they need to know. Congress out of pocket, these crooked judges need to go. Zimmerman chillin', but they still ain't free Mumia though. Devils around us, I'm thinking more Killmonger, less T'Challa, transgressing on the power. Hella black, hella proud, RBG, call police. Too late to relax, these racist actions is what started me. Government target me, monkey what they calling me. Only brother came on Fed thing, nothing startles me, I'm faking. What would Mike Brown and Trey Martin be? First Eric on the dentist's daughter, it ain't hard to see. Time to bend the rules, many times we've been accused. Take it back to Osage in the 80s, we will not be moved. Something gotta give, Huey P and Bobby Liz. Suckers know what time it is, wasn't loaded, now it is.
If I say it, then I mean it. Unapologetic, I ain't giving them no reason. Misleading our people, tired of us being mistreated. Here we standing up, we refuse to be defeated.
You scared of the white folks? Take a life, but only if they take one. I bet you want a white wife with a white picket fist. They tell kids to mince meat. You love gang violence, but you run from them white sheets. You love pale demons. I'm God on the South Beach. We more like Lil Haiti, man. You looking like you South Beach. Blow the wall, free meat. They blew up John Africa. If they get me, come send my ashes back to Africa. You spit, we laugh at ya. 7 slugs after ya. Talk. Boy, you're pissing through a catheter. The black Gandalf, sawed off in my hand. Drop back in the shotgun. Bam, 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 bam. Drop back in the shotgun. Bam, 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 bam. Tell whoever got an issue with us, we don't give a damn.
If I say it, then I mean it. Unapologetic, I ain't giving them no reason. Misleading our people, tired of us being mistreated. Here we standing up, we refuse to be defeated.
We got a lame in office. On another note, few labels making me offers. Gon' make a way regardless, no breaking. Only us we take is on market. Underdogs running yard, we playing the hardest. Look, it's time to get on my bully, been too lenient. Something superb, you subpar to disagree with it. Love is just a word, no telling who's meaning it. My run is deserved, the definition of leadership. Forever solid, never seen as a hater. Meanwhile, these clowns keep my name in everything but a prayer. Concentrate on everything but some paper. Why they bitter? Any whack opinion that's against is not considered. I'm like, what's the problem? I'm just honest when I speak. Never stopping, I'm trying like Jeremiah and Tariq. To speak, you're not qualified. The shift is now arrived. Had to add my 2 cents, I won't apologize.
If I say it, then I mean it. Unapologetic, I ain't giving them no reason. Misleading our people, tired of us being mistreated. Here we standing up, we refuse to be defeated. If I say it, then I mean it. Unapologetic, I ain't never gonna delete it. Release us from this pain, we refuse to be defeated. If we ain't standing up, they ain't never gonna see it.
from the cast, meeker than a smurf, climbing a giraffe. Doc Brown, give me a portal to the past, so I can rewrite the script in which I was cast. Straight ip kiss, looking for a mask to conceal the havoc released by my rap. Slash Hipachi Saraki, the battle inside, Rambo versus Rocky, the same person, but different character. Do you navigate exactly where I'm taking ya? Across the oceans of my soul, globe of my whole, to decrypt the purpose of my role. The checks on the list of my goal, not to judge me till I die or grow old. So do I shine as a sun, or shine like the moon, or become the eclipse in a glance is your doom? Been taking chances is how I was groomed, flesh and focus like a damn typhoon. The light, the dark, the yin, the yang, to balance ourselves we must balance these things. Feel as a king, feel as a peasant, I'm linked to my past, future and present. Mind clouded as a nimbus, darker than a Guinness. Odds against me from the start to the finish. Never do I end it, current out the window with a descent so gentle, suicide tempo. Do you understand now how we are blended? The morning and the evening, you must be friended to make your soul kindred. You will bend it, and those that can't, unfortunately, end it.
You know how to fly this thing? A little late to ask that question, isn't it? You guys all right? Yeah, be better.
Texting while driving, texting while driving, texting while driving is what caused the collision.
It's like playing Russian roulette. At the end of the day, every family regret.
911.
Yeah.
There's been a car accident. I'm over here at the South Street Bridge. The car's hanging off the side of the bridge. The guy is bleeding. I don't know. He looks unconscious. To send somebody quick. Hurry.
Everywhere I go, everywhere I drive, everybody on the phone. Where I'm from. Listen. Staying tall like City Hall. I was texting the other day and I walked into a wall. Everybody got a phone. Kids got phones. Seen the picture of the Pope, even he was on the phone. Lights get realer. One day a lady was texting and ran into an 18-wheeler. Driving in Texas like driving and drinking. Be more aware, sometimes you ain't thinking. Shorty was texting, he walked in the street. He didn't hear the beat, got knocked out his sneaks. The text you gonna send, homie, it could wait. For a second, it might seal your fate. You gotta be more conscious, know what you're doing. Cause in a split second, the life could be ruined. This is not a joke, this is serious. This could make the same person go delirious. A guy on the E-way driving with his niece. Watch down over us, Lord, please. And I heard that dude had everything. In the blink of an eye, lost everything. Stay focused all time, so major. That text you wanna send, do it later. Just do it when you off of the road. It's a phone epidemic, every minute lose another soul. Life pressures more than a text. One chance at life and you won't get a next. System ain't playing, they giving out bids. Think about your future, please think about your kids. Everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, everywhere I drive. It's a phone epidemic. Everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, everywhere I drive. It's a phone epidemic. Driving in Texas is a tragedy. It's a phone epidemic. Driving in Texas is a tragedy. It's a phone epidemic. Driving in Texas is a tragedy.
The lives you carry is not your own.
Driving in Texas is a tragedy.
In a split second, it can happen to you. Don't do it.
Everywhere I go, everywhere I drive, everybody on the phone. It's a phone epidemic.
Yes, I think it is a jailable offense, and I do believe that we will seek active jail time for it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Driving in Texas is a tragedy. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Driving in Texas is a tragedy.
Life ain't a bed of dandelions, more like hand in hand with an angry lion. Steady grinding, losing track of time, and now I'm feeling stranded on abandoned islands. From the streets where they prone to violence, don't say a word, that's the code of silence. Violate that, you gotta stay strapped, now they on your top like a wave cap. I try to not try to win, guess I don't meet the requirements. But Aaliyah said if you don't succeed, you gotta dust it off and just try again. Gotta watch who you inviting in, it's time to draw the line so it's mighty thin. Be aware of your environment, that's a lot of snakes and Leviathan, yeah. Keep them at arm's reach, I'm with the Pesci's out in Palm Beach. Wouldn't even make a long speech, got your feet up in the concrete. A lot of wanna fill my shoes, but the fact remains that they can't fit. I pay my dues, had to bend the rules, got it popping out of flame lit, yeah, I got the fuego. Yeah, I got the fuego. Fire. Be hating, but mami lo quiero. I got the fuego. Yeah, I got the fuego. Fire. Be hating, but I got the fuego. Meet up in there. See, no, I'm right at your cuello. I am so high that I'm touching the cielo. Be hating, but mami lo quiero. I be walking como no tengo miedo. Papi no juego, ahí yo lo dejo. All of these mommies ain't none of them fail. I'm just getting to it, no you're no better. Flame lit, homie, I ain't stopping. Making it out was the only option. Word to Poppy Collins, had to get it poppin'. Stacking commas, we ain't got a thing in common. I'm just steady climbing. Why they always wanting? And watch you make a diamond out of rhyming, that's my main assignment. Never lose focus, they knew I'm the dopest. If it ain't broken, why even provoke it? Remember the times I was really the brokest. Putting in work on the nights with the coldest. I was on the scene and still wasn't noticed. I was about to quit and still wouldn't show it. Had to show 'em I am really devoted. Putting the work in and I got promoted, yeah, I got the fuego. Yeah, I got the fuego. Fire. Be hating, but mami lo quiero. I got the fuego. Yeah, I got the fuego. Be hating, but yeah, I got the fuego. Fire.
The Philadelphia Freedom Project appreciates the support of most Slept On radio hosts Sam Malone, Lateef, K, Big Cuz in support of 10,000 basketballs for Philly Youth Campaign. If one basketball can keep 10 plus teenagers busy for in the evening, imagine what 10,000 could do. Join us in our efforts to curb street violence by providing an activity simply with a basketball at GoFundMe. Search 10,000 basketballs, Philadelphia Freedom Project on GoFundMe to support our efforts. And now back to our show.
And now, back to the Most Slept On radio show with your host, Sam Malone, Sipping with Sammie, broadcasting live from the Uptown Theater.
Most Slept On radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. Wes Manchild is figuring out my moniker as we speak. And
I used to be a Cheers fanatic as a kid, which is funny because it's like the whitest show ever. But as a child, I loved that show.
Like Cheers was dope. And
it was dope, but it was never anybody black on the show. But it's Boston, so it makes sense.
Right.
Absolutely. But imagine if you was black and you walked into Cheers.
Oh, they would have turned around like, what, in Boston?
No,
in
you
80s?
Probably wouldn't have got no service.
See,
I walked into a bar at
spot.
Manayunk and they ain't even look at us. Me and Poe was in there for 30 minutes. I'm charging my phone off. They didn't ask us if we wanted a napkin.
Oh, no, I get a kick out of doing that. I'm going in the spot. I'm like, oh, let's go here. I just want to see
We
what's going to happen.
but then I figured I was hungry and wanted to go somewhere that was going to serve me. Like,
Oh, no, I'm getting served.
It still exists.
Yeah, I've been to Boston.
I'm getting served.
Boston
But as far as the name, let me clarify. I did not name myself Sam Malone, but my lifestyle is such that my man said it one day and it's
Sam was that
type
bull.
of thing. Because the
bull.
retired athlete boy that run the bar. It's kind of like
Sam was getting it
something like
popping.
my life.
He was running the bar. He was that bull.
Playboy,
Yeah.
And you know, me and Chill all about the 80s TV references. That's what we get
that's
into.
that's a big part of Chill music.
The second project we did was TV Made Me Do It.
Yeah, that one was dope.
And it just started because we just always a back and forth about these ill references. Like,
look how good y'all are, because I was just about to get into
Yeah.
it. Let's talk about that project.
yeah, TV made me do it. I mean, what the first song we did was White Power, where we sampled Dave Chappelle, Clayton Bigsby joint. White Power. So I wrote that joint, and then
that was as a joke.
Then we did James Evans.
Yeah, James
Evans sampling Good Times, of course. And I don't know, it just I would always throw bars in there like literally rapping like for West, or like for people that were like us, that were of this kilt, that's like, yo, like, who would say I'm Ray Finkel with the laces out? Like, who's even thinking about Ray Finkel? Who even knows
just
who that
you
is?
and Currency.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You and
Currency does that. Currency does that for sure. But and Bronson does that a lot.
But Bronson's is more blatant. It's not as subtle as you and Currency.
I don't know. Bronson was rapping about Jack LaLanne. Like, yo, who knows that? Like,
yeah. But what I mean is, like, he lets you know that that's where it's going all the like the song is that. You know what I mean? The bar is that.
Oh, Ron Simmons, Ron Simmons joint.
Ron Simmons.
As opposed to just blending it into the subject matter.
TV made me do it was that, but then it was the extension of that was like building concepts around the song. So
like even when you did Hoist Gracie.
Yeah,
how fun was that though? Did y'all watch stuff? Did y'all listen to the like? What was the process?
It was just,
all of that.
How long was the process?
These are just it was a while, but it's just back and forth of me sending him joints.
Because it started as it was gonna be a freestyle series. This TV made me do a freestyle series, so we had like 5 joints we was gonna drop once every Monday
and
for
then
that
it started
month.
feeling right.
And then it's like, yo, let's just do a whole project. And then we start getting the graphics right. Like we did this photo shoot in front of this couch or on this couch, and then made like alternate album covers of us just sitting on every famous couch. So we was in the Huxtables living room, we was in Martin Payne's living room, we was in the Evans family's living room, Simpsons joint, we was in the Simpsons living room, like just doing all of that stuff. So it's like, yo, this is fun, let's just keep going. So then we start making concepts. We did Hoist Gracie, and it was like the concept was basically like Hoist Gracie was always, if y'all not familiar with Hoist Gracie, you might call him Royce Gracie from the UFC.
First
the first major star in the UFC. He used to fight with the gi on and all of that. But he was one of them Brazilian jiu-jitsu bulls who was like undersized. You might not understand what's about to happen, but he was going to win every single time. He never lost. Ken Shamrock couldn't touch him. None of them could touch him. He big, small, anybody. That's before it was weight classes, gloves, any of that in the UFC.
He put that hold on you.
It was a wrap. So the concept, when he sent me the beat, I'm like, all right, I gotta go in on this joint. Like I gotta give him something. I was heavy on the concepts and all of that stuff, but it was like, no, just give him bars. Like give him what's unexpected. And I'm like, kind of like Hoist Gracie, like, I mean, so I what you say,
he was just like
embodied the spirit of Hoist Gracie. And he retweeted the song when it came out and was co-signing it and everything.
That's a good look, yo.
Yeah.
But this is why, and it's crazy because we came up in a time when hip hop and rap was considered a fad and anything but music. But this is why it's art,
right?
Because the man just said, I embodied an energy of somebody and went there on a track and made people feel that for that moment.
Yeah.
Because how I feel is how I feel. What I put out is how I put out. And it shouldn't be held against me. It should be interpreted.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
so that's a major thing that points to the art of what is done in hip hop.
I mean, that's the reason that it's been able to stay around and not just be the fad that they called it earlier, because it was art. It's a form of expression. It's the greatest form of expression.
It's the most neutral. It's the most neutral form of expression because it's open to everybody that has nothing.
Right.
People have this idea that cats are just up here throwing a bunch of words together and but like, no, you have to listen to it.
Yeah. There's a pattern to it. There's a format to it, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't reach a certain criteria, it doesn't even count.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's automatic.
It doesn't count.
It's like a semi-automatic. Like you throw it out there, it's either going to get accepted or everybody going to tell you. And that's the beauty about hip hop. People will tell you like, yo, that's whack.
Oh yeah, because we created booing.
Genres.
Yeah.
We created the woo woo. We created booing. We can hype you or get you out of there with things that we started. Like no other music genre was doing that.
Yeah.
Where else would you go perform it? You just wouldn't get applause.
You wouldn't get applause, right?
Nah.
You might get heckled at some point, but like you wouldn't get applause. Now it was getting you out of there. It was Sandman. It was all of that. It was us. Because we're brutally honest about what we like and what we don't. And nowadays, we're adjusting our filters to accept things that are different.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of growth in that because the art has grown. And we can't hold back this art. A thing that I think a lot of people forget about our genre when they put a lot of pressures on certain idiosyncrasies about the genre is that it's so young.
Yeah.
We haven't had a time to elevate to a certain point. Like, we didn't know you could be a 50-year-old rapper and be fly till Jay-Z
this is
did
the
it.
first. This is
but
the
it
first.
took
Yeah,
for
it's
a
not
rapper to
first
figure out a
noise.
way to transition into 50 and do it the right way.
If you think about, like, that era, because this the historian bag.
Oh, let's go.
But if you think about how the 80s were, like, by the time, like, LL, like Rakim and them came up in like '86, and Kane and all them ushered in the new era.
used to be my favorite rapper.
Run DMC was old school by then.
Yeah, they
and
were.
if you think about it, Run
old.
DMC only came out '82.
82.
So they really only had like a 4 or 5 year heavy run when you think about it. Their run was
And
not
they
that
were
long.
rock stars.
Yeah, and they were like the top of all. But by like '88, because the whole thing, the Ram Kane and Rakim and G Rap and all changed. Rhyme cadences is the way
Kane
everything
and
was
Rakim.
done. They changed everything. The blueprint. So when they came out and changed everything, it was like, all right, we don't want to hear that. Yes, y'all like that old stuff, like y'all old school. So they were outdated
because the MC came from where the MC came from.
Yeah.
So when Running them came out, they represented the true essence of an MC.
Here's my DJ. Let me tell y'all.
Let me hype up my man.
Here's my shoes. Let me tell you how fly.
And let's
these
talk
shoes
about the
are.
hood a little bit.
A little bit, but it's not.
little
Even with
bit.
all of those topics, it was the style was similar.
Yeah.
Then you got like Cool G Rap come up and he's rhyming words within sentences.
And then
it's
like
multiple
the
rhymes.
styles, the
Yeah.
styles is what really messed up things. Because even when you think about art, because art told you MC means move the crowd, and he did that, but he did it at a pace that was unheard of.
And it's like when the great come along, they change everything. You know about it. And those two, even though people sleep on G-Rap, I always include G-Rap in it.
You gotta include G-Rap.
But those guys like really changed the whole cadence. So all those guys from like 80 to like 85 were out of here.
I got a fun question. I got a fun question. Game changers for y'all in y'all life. The people that at certain points in your life was like, you know what? I'm listening to this all summer, or this made me change my perspective of how I thought about the possibilities, or any of that thing. And you don't need a lot of them, but just a couple people that you can remember in your growth. You know, from high school, middle school, whatever.
You want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would
rap,
start
I do production. You do rap.
Yeah, I mean,
production.
Well, with rap with me, it's more than just the rap. So I model a lot of what I do after guys like 50 Cent, after guys like Diddy, who showed that it was more to it than just rap.
Versatility in business.
Yeah, because like when you, like you say, you didn't know you could be 50 and rapping.
Exactly.
At that time. So it was like, all right, we in this, but what's the exit strategy? You can't do this forever. I can't. Yeah. But I need to be rich forever. I need to be getting it.
Which is why you focus on your brand.
So exactly why I focus on the brand. So guys like 50, you know, partnering with Robert Greene and writing a book, that right there spoke to me more than anything that's happened, because like that's a big step.
Oh, when he patented G Unit internationally from the Giddy Up,
from the rip, and
that's
then
where
still
Wu-Tang
doing
fell
things like that. He's still doing exactly.
Wu-Tang took a major hit.
So with the beer, it's like I saw guys like Wu-Tang support St. Ives forever and not get nothing from it but some free beer. I seen
maybe
Run DMC hold up the Adidas and
whole
couldn't get the deal at first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they had to go.
You had to do the show. For
yeah,
them to
you
come
had to
and
do
give
all of
them
that.
meal.
But then you see, all right, you fast forward, guys like 50 again, guys like Diddy, guys like Hove, they got liquors, but they bought into these companies. It's like, all right, I got enough money, then now I can just purchase this company and I can do that. They still ain't make it. You know, they 50 ain't stomp on them grapes and make that. You know what I mean, like that's not how it's going. So when I wanted to do mines, I'm like, all right, I want to be involved. So when I went up to Dock Street, I'm like, yo, I want to make a beer with y'all, but I want to make the beer. Like I want to be involved.
So you approached Dock Street?
Yeah, I approached them. I'm like, yo, honestly, the conversation started. They were doing a beer called Dock Street Beer, Ain't Nothing to Funk With. It was a homage to the Wu-Tang Clan. Inspector Deck came through. What they did with the beer was they aged the beer in
whiskey barrels,
in the Chardonnay barrels.
Okay.
And put a Wu-Tang W on the Chardonnay barrel. It was a saison that they aged in the Chardonnay barrel, and they played
the Chardonnay
Wu-Tang.
barrel makes sense now that I think about it.
They played Wu-Tang music into the barrel 24/7.
I read that in the article.
I did read something
24/7 for 6 months, and just had it running, and it was like, all right, of course, there's nothing changed in the beer because of that, but it's a novel, dope concept.
Yeah, like we actually.
And I grew up
limited.
on Wu-Tang, so I'm like, I want to be there. So I went down there, met the owner that night, and I'm like, you know, I appreciate what y'all doing in this community specifically because a lot of this neighborhood is being gentrified. You know, I grew up around here. I spent a lot of time growing up, should I say, around there. My cousin lived down a block from Dock Street. My aunt still lives there, and I'm like, a lot of these businesses on this block aren't welcoming to the people that are from this neighborhood.
Right.
Y'all
Absolutely.
aren't like that. So I'm like, I want to make a beer with y'all. And the lady looked at my face and was like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm Chill. Boom, boom, boom. Went through that whole thing. Told her what I do. Told her about music ambassador things and all of that.
I was about to say, you told her you was the Philadelphia hip hop ambassador.
The music
ambassador.
Hip-hop. So
my bad.
Turns
I apologize.
Turns out we had mutual friends or whatever. Took a liking to the conversation that we were having, and she's like, all right, let's do it. I'm like, don't just put my face on a beer. I want to make a beer with y'all. So I basically like interned down there for like 4 months, like from 9 to like 4 o'clock.
So you chose how much
many
hops
days a
and
week?
all that went all in it?
Like probably like 3 or 4 days a week. I was down
That's a
there
real
from
internship.
like 9 to 4, 9 to 3.
Okay.
But like just drinking. Like that's how you learn about beer. Drink this. The brewer will hand me a
Flavor
beer
profile.
in the morning. What do you taste? I say word. Like that's not how you explain that. Like that's got a little something right here. You know the Marty March. I'm like, like that's called kick. That's called bite. This is you say it's hoppy, but it's really just bitter because you know my beer's got 5 different kinds of hops in it. It's probably one of the most hoppiest beers, but it don't got that bitterness. So you're not going. You might say, oh, I like this because it ain't hoppy. That's wrong. It's the most hoppiest beer you're gonna have, but it's not what you would call hoppy. So anyway, learned all of that stuff.
Barstool Talk.
Yeah, learned all of that stuff, and I'm like, I wanted to do it that way because the guys that I was influenced by, this is like the next level of what they were doing. So you got the Wu-Tangs who was just co-signing stuff, not getting nothing from it.
Yeah.
And you got 50 and Diddy and all them who was like, all right, I'm gonna co-sign this and buy into it, but they didn't have their hands in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now Diddy is making flavors and he's doing things. He's probably got a little bit more hands in it than when he originally bought Ciroc. But I remember Ciroc was $10 a bottle.
We could get into that, but remember it was a time where they almost pulled it because Diddy wasn't drinking Ciroc because he wasn't making
Right,
enough
because
from
he
it.
wasn't. Yeah,
so then they upped it.
Same
But
like he did with
we gonna
Revolt.
cut to a break real quick.
We gotta
Uptown
get
Radio,
to Wes's influences.
WJYN
My fault,
98.5
Wes.
FM. We coming right back with Wes Manchild picks on his production, so he better be right with him because he got time. Most slept on radio, man. We holler at y'all in a second.
You're listening to community radio at its best. Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM, serving Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The opinions of this program are not the opinions of the station management or the Uptown Entertainment and Development Corporation.
Thank you for listening to the Most Slept On Radio Show. Please follow us on Instagram at Most Slept On Radio and on Facebook, 98.5 FM, Most Slept On Radio, Uptown Radio. And now, back to our show.
Radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. Teef, look behind your head. We still got Chill Moody Wes Manchild in the Situation Room with us. But before we get to Wes Manchild and his production influences, Chill, you gave me 2.
Yeah, so,
you gave me 2
so
businessmen.
those are on the business ones. Now on the rap
Right.
side of things, Black Thought, The Roots.
Say that.
Yeah, Beanie Siegel.
Super cool guy too.
Guys who like really just always, you can tell, paid attention to the craft. Like no matter what.
They used to say Siegel was the next big. The
Right.
closest people to big used to say that.
Siegel, we being from Philly, I think we underestimate him. But I always say, if you listen to any J and Beanie track,
he got the W on all
wins
of them.
every time.
He has one of the best club
Daddy, Where
verses
Have You
ever.
Been?
In the club
Do It
is one of the
Again.
best club
Well, you know
verses
how we do
ever.
in the club.
If you listen to what he say,
Yeah.
he runs through everything
Can't
you
Be
could
Life.
possibly
He does, yo.
do
He got
The whole
everything
in the
Dynasty,
club.
the
And
whole
keep it
Dynasty
G.
album, he bodied like every time he's on. Guess who's back? Every time he's on a joint.
What's the name? Now witness to the greatest. Can't beat his joint. Is keep.
It's on. That's his on.
It's on. You said that already?
Yeah, that's the first one because he definitely got
All
the
right.
W on
My
that.
bad, I was talking.
But guys like that, like Sieg, for the fact that he never strayed away from the craft of it. Same with Reek, same with Thought. But more importantly, with the
Reek
Roots,
is thought for y'all. I know y'all slow.
but more importantly, what the Roots did for the city, like they always took the city with them wherever, even when the city completely turned their back on them, and they had
fronting on them for the first.
Still was showing
years.
Philly wouldn't applaud. Nobody know your record, nor who you opening for.
Exactly, but you be hard pressed to, if you put 3 Black Thought verses, he's gonna say 215.
Somehow,
at least twice.
Somehow,
Like
Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on if I ain't whipping the land throughout your section. Chill, I got chills when I heard that.
Look, that's what he do.
And you say nice things.
So
that was a source
rhyme
right? of the month.
Yeah. So those guys, Nas, of course, was one of my early favorites. I came up on him. I came up on Nas. I came up on Wu-Tang.
I see a lot of Nas.
You know, that's
Wu built the creativity for a lot of us and let us know that there weren't like, if you really dig up on music, if you listen to a Wu track, nobody has a set allotment of bars.
Right.
Somebody rap for 18,
Song
somebody rap
structure
for 4,
doesn't
somebody will do
an
an ad-lib.
Because
RZA is a genius. No, RZA's a genius.
Yeah, for sure.
He used to get what he could get out of these wild dudes. And whatever they gave him, he found a way to make it
or
fit.
he take the best part. If you might have had a
It's a
16
puzzle.
on some of
It's
them
a puzzle to
Jones.
RZA.
But it's like,
nah,
I'm taking a 6.
RZA controlled everything.
No, it sounded like it flowed. If you really know the flow of music, then it sounds clipped up.
And then
I can tell like some words you can hear it, but you can hear it though. Like he almost said another word, but he cut it. Like,
but
people thought ODB was Ghostface because he said introducing the Ghostface Killer. They thought he was talking about himself.
Right. And then another thing, and just the last thing before we throw the West, that I pulled from Wu-Tang rest in that Nice Things logo. Like, the reason I made the logo, a lot of it rests in Wu-Tang. Like, I know the smiley face is like one of the most iconic logos of all time. You want a smiley face.
Smiley face, shifty face.
But then on top of that, Wu-Tang's W is the most iconic logo
I still
think
see
of all
tattoos.
time. People got tags.
I still see
I was making them
tattoos.
Jones at woodshop back in
You
the day.
remember
though.
drawing them
Remember
Jones.
trying to
Everybody-
get your angles right with
Yeah.
the high arm and the low wing?
So what I grabbed from them was like, I need something that iconic. And what they also have aside from the W is that yellow, that Wu-Tang yellow. It's a distinct
yellow and that black
color.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I need that Nice Things green, and I want the
It's like
smiley
Wu-Tang
face.
and Ferrari.
So
That's
it was
it.
like that was the correlation between that.
But no, real quick, salute to the Nice Things movement. And I like a lot about how you brand yourself and
Appreciate
market
it.
yourself.
Appreciate it.
We'll get into that in a minute. But Wes,
all right, as far as production, with me it starts. It's a couple of things.
Marley
Q-Tip.
Marl.
No, I ain't even gonna go. I respected Marley Marl later because I realized what he did.
What
for
he
the
did.
game.
Right.
He's the
He
architect
did a
of
lot,
everything with
yo. He did a
sampling.
lot.
And for me
I've been
being
seeing a
sample
lot
person.
of things people been telling what he
So,
been doing. Yeah,
I mean, and based on the equipment he used and how he did it back then, he was a genius to come up with that. And when you listen to some of those early Juice Crew songs and me being a producer and seeing how many records he put together and bring, because that's back with dudes sampling like 4 or 5 records, all break beats.
All break beats.
Even though he was the first one to chop
But it
up
was
drums.
rules. But it was rules
Yeah.
because they said if the drum had something else connected to it, you couldn't use it.
But he was the first person to really chop up that drum break beat. Like, hold up, I could chop this and make that drum and that stand. So even that little technological idea changed
See what
everything.
hip hop do? Go ahead.
But that, I mean, start with Q-Tip because Tribe
Genius.
is everything with me. And even it's funny because when
Favorite
I was
Tribe
a young
project?
Low End Theory.
All right, go ahead.
But when I was a young boy, I actually thought Ali Sheikh Muhammad did the beats until I got a little older because it never said Q-Tip, always said produced by a Tribe Called Quest. And that's the first time, even that's what got me to produce. I would read the liner notes, look at the samples, and then that's, really opened my eyes to that. So when I really found out that Q-Tip really started producing all this, really wasn't until Mobb Deep album came out and when he did Temperatures Rise and then Give Up the Goods.
Rise,
and I saw those beats and I was like, these sound like Tribe. So I was like, Q-Tip. I was like, oh, Q-Tip is the one producing. So that's
and
when
Tip
I was
never stopped. Tell more comment.
Yeah. So
Dangerous.
Q-Tip is a guy, Premier, because
Primo.
Because even though, like, me and Chill go back and forth about Gangstar, we ain't gonna talk about that. But
I would love to hear that conversation. But go ahead, man. We don't got time to.
No, we ain't got time to get into that. But the reason I listened to Gangstar was for Primo. Every Primo project he put out, whether it's Group Home. Group Home is probably the worst rap project of all time, but the best produced project of all time.
Yo, he had the best. They had the best.
They had the best
beats ever.
They got so many videos off of that.
But they are probably the worst two rappers ever. But I listened to that cassette nonstop going to school. So Primo, Q-Tip, obviously. Then when you get into later things, I mean, obviously you would say Dre, but I don't include like Chronic and Snoop and them Dre. I'm more like E-for like or whatever. I don't know.
And we talking about production wise.
Yeah, production.
So
Ends
which
for Life.
era? Okay.
That album, but right before the Chronic, because the Ends for Life NW album, I'll tell anybody, production wise, is still the most crisp album. Even now, when you listen to it, it came out in '91. He was using break beats to say, but a lot of people had this weird idea that Dre played all this stuff. I'm like, Dre's the most
sampled a lot.
So, but you listen to that album now, it still sounds crisp. The break, he was still using break beats and those funk samples. Everything was crazy. Those three, Just Blaze, because he's more technical. Even though Kanye had a big influence, but I like Just more because more the technical aspect. And Dylan, of course. Dylan's my
Gotta
style.
salute. Rest in peace.
He was
Dylan,
waiting for it
man.
because they joke. But
rest in peace, Dylan. Man.
Yeah, but from a producer, a technical side, because a lot of people always argue about the whole Dilla the GOAT thing. I always say he might not have had a lot of the crazy hits, even though he had a lot of joints, a lot of sleeper hits.
I'm about to say a lot of people don't know what he did
behind that whole Soul Aquarius movement.
Yeah,
those Erica, those Common, those Roots albums. Dilla was the driving force. You asked.
That was what I was getting to. A lot of people not aware of that part. Right.
So, but little stuff he would do technically that you would hear as a producer, you like, how did he do this? And I remember one time Pharrell was on 106 and actually his favorite producer, he said Dilla. And they were like, why? He was like, do you hear what he does?
Listen to Dilla.
And like Free and AJ had no idea what he was talking about. He was like, you don't know what he does.
Because he wasn't a super producer by name.
But
and all
so
that.
He's still influenced. So those are my guys.
What's your weapon of choice?
I feel like
I still use FL and MPD.
Okay.
I feel like you was too old to be watching 106 in Park when Free
I was in
AJ
college.
Oh man, there was one point with 106. There was a point when the afternoon 106 is what you did. Like, come on,
yeah, when it popped
Yo,
up.
what was you doing? 106.
I was watching 106 because
Oh,
I wasn't
alright.
that old.
So you saying he that much older than
I was
you?
in college. I wasn't even that old. When it popped up, I was in college.
Listen, if
So
you was in college, I can respect
Robinson
it.
first show.
You was in college, I can respect it.
I told you, man, we in the same bracket now.
Yo, y'all are. See, man, and this how y'all get projects like the one we was just talking about together because y'all both silly and y'all both appreciate each other's idiosyncrasies and nonsense.
We got enough hip hop knowledge between the two of us to really create like some real nice things.
I got a
all
quick
the time.
rando question.
What's that?
What do you think the best song you two ever made was?
Oh.
Just y'all two. What do you think the best joint y'all made was?
Yeah, Teef.
We got some joints on this new album. I can't front.
Well, let's get into the new album.
We got some joints on this new album.
What's the name of the album?
Album's West Chili 2.
West Chili 2, great name.
West Chili was our first joint that we did together, and when we started making this new batch of records, it was like, oh, we kind of capturing that West Chili essence again. Let's just dub this the West Chili 2 joint. But
gotta love good energy.
That's an exclusive too. We haven't even told anybody.
We ain't really told nobody yet.
Yeah. Oh, all right, well, say it again then.
But on that project, I don't know. I got this joint. All right, so I got what people are saying might be one of our best records.
Yeah.
This joint that I got with Mike Zombie.
I got it right here, dog.
Oh, you got that? I sent you
No,
that.
Shout to Willenboro yet again.
I must have been getting elevated.
I
that
can't
day.
get no applause. Right.
It click send.
No, but go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah,
about
so that joint is what people are arguing might be the best. My favorite. It's gonna take me a minute to think of what.
Of all time.
Yeah, because we got a lot of joints.
I mean, and not necessarily best, but favorite.
Because I saw y'all, the first time I saw you, I met him, because I used to see you everywhere all the time.
I'm always around.
He's like, what's up? And I saw y'all had the show at Bourbon and Branch.
Okay.
And you rocked, and then you got up and started playing these beats, and I was like, yo, this boy's nasty.
Matter of fact,
yeah.
And that's something that I've been wanting to mention. Salute to Chill. First time I saw Chill perform, my man was going to go check him out at Milk Boy.
Okay.
Went to Milk Boy. It was you in a 3-piece band, I believe.
Okay.
Asian guy, white guy, black guy, I believe.
Makes sense.
And it was my first time seeing you live and wasn't familiar with the music at the time, to be honest. And you bodied it. And it was a good energy. It was the perfect band for that kind of room and that kind of stage and setup.
Right.
And I felt I felt that you took time to recognize what was necessary for that moment.
I mean, because sometimes we go as far as bringing out like a 9-piece band. I'll bring
Exactly.
horns. I'll do all of that. But
That's
sometimes it ain't.
It was
for all
three
that.
of them, but it was rocking and it was jamming. And you know the Milk Boy stage upstate.
You gotta know the room.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that we.
What you think? What you think is the best joint, yo? I'm curious to know what you think. Nobody's never asked us that.
Dang,
You got 10 seconds, or we gonna go to break. You gotta give it to us on the way back.
Probably gotta be on the way back.
On the way back. Well, look, man, it's Most Slept On Radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. Simple with Sammie. Teef is Maximus, Big Cuz K, Wes Manchild, Chill Moody. Be right back.
I mean, anywhere is fire.
Yeah.
You are tuned in, Most Slept On Radio, broadcasting live from the Uptown Music Theater, WJYN 98.5 on your FM radio dial, with your host, your favorite cousin, Big Cuz. Big Cuz Live, and we'll be covering all things Most Slept On.
All things?
All things.
Hi, this is Bob Davis. I'm in charge of programming here at Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM here in Philadelphia. Welcome to our new station. We're in test mode right now, but I invite you to stick around and be part of our growth. Our intent is to become your father's black radio station. By that I mean, it's our intention to serve the community, much in the way that black radio stations did before they were taken over by the corporate radio power structure. For example, we've kicked off our programming with independent hip-hop, soul, jazz, and blues that's been ignored by corporate radio. However, we're going to be much more than just a music station. We're going to be a full-service information and entertainment platform serving you, your family, and your neighborhood, broadcasting from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., 7 days a week on 98.5. On the internet at PhiladelphiaUptownRadio.org, and of course you can catch us on social media. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or you'd like to join our team as a volunteer, a sponsor, or an artist, drop me an email by visiting our website at PhiladelphiaUptownRadio.org. Put Program Director in the subject line. Now, back to the music.
Most Slept On Radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. And we're going to pick up where we left off with Chill Moody and Wes Manchild. The question was asked by Teef Maximus, in case you missed it. What is the best song or your favorite song, I think, should be more, because best is such a limiting thing. What's your favorite song that you two guys have done together as a unit? And I want each of y'all to give me one, because I see that y'all can't agree on one.
We definitely can't agree on one.
It is hard. Energy-wise, I love Royce Gracie because it was just him spitting and the beat, and it's always something like, I even joke still, like, yo, when I'm listening to it, like, if I'm riding, I kind of get in that vibe for the most part. And also, tag. It's a lot of records. It's a lot of joints.
The
Chill,
price,
you give me one.
The price is nice.
Oh, I forgot
the
about
Price is Nice was fire.
Because I sampled The Price is Right.
The Price is Right.
And it just started. That's the first.
And that was
album.
before TV made me do it.
Yeah.
So that kind of was like a precursor to that whole.
Got the
And
ball
probably
rolling.
say CHI, no Lupe, double L Moody got them covered. Like, yeah.
We're learning a lot today about y'all, man.
I think one of my favorites, I'm not going to be able to pick one, but one of my favorites that I think is slept on was Whitley Gilbert.
Okay.
Whitley Gilbert off of TV Made Me Do It was my joint.
Definitely almost slept on joint, cuz.
Yeah, because we both different world fanatics growing up in the sample, what I did, and how. Oh, that switch
and
up.
I switch up.
Yeah.
That's why it's my favorite, because that's one of the first times that Wes trusted me. I was like, yo, and like I gave like a tip for the production. I'm like, yo, let's do a beat switch right here. I got another verse I want to put on it, and he'll usually like I'll send him ideas for samples and stuff like that. He'll do it. If it's hot or whatever, but I like jumped out the window, try to get my producer back, but he, let me do it. And from there, I've been able, like, I've done that with a lot of other records, not just with him, but for everybody. It kind of gave me the confidence to do that, because I'm like, I know I'm right on this one. I know it's going to sound live.
Which is important. And it's important to have a relationship with a producer that allows you to express those things, because you're trying to build projects with cohesion.
Yeah.
And it's only going to be cohesive if it works in your head, too. You know what I mean? Because
it goes
no disrespect to you guys. You guys are awesome. But we stay up nights sometimes trying to figure out a vibe or an angle. And if we don't get that out, we get stuck there. Like.
Even the other way, it's stuff that I send him and he'll have for a while. He's like, yo, I just can't get it. And I'll be like, yo, you need to do this. Like, there's a couple of joints on this album that
He been sent me the beat.
Yeah, it is like, yo, you need to
Who
do
harasses
this,
who for the next project? Who's the one that's like, yo, it's time?
It don't really. It just
goes
builds
both ways?
naturally.
Nah, that's
or
a
it's
lie.
neither.
That's a lie.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on, chill.
I'm gonna tell you, this album was
this album to us.
This album was originally called "Chill Was Taking Too Long to Drop These Joints," so I'm gonna drop them for the culture. So
that's a great title.
I kind of get harassed to drop the music because going back to that, I'm too strategic sometimes.
All right.
You know what I mean? I'm 5 steps ahead, but didn't make the first step yet. I'm one of them boys.
I got 200 songs and 15 online. I know exactly what.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta be the right time to do this. I gotta be. And he like, yo, just put it out, man. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I was just asking, yo, what's up with that song? Did you record that? Yo, I recorded it. I got the verses written. I'm like,
what's the problem? Like, what's the hold up?
So yeah, it was originally called "Chill Was Taking Too Long to Drop These Joints," so we put them out for the culture.
So what's the deciding factor for you when you realize it's go time? Is it the pressure? Is it, do you get a vibe? Do you get an itch? Do you
It's different. It's different every time.
It's always something different.
Every time,
So it's always something. That's why the project's different.
Yeah,
because it's different motivation.
Yeah, it's different motivations all the time. Like this time, it was really like I'm really feeling this music that we got right here, and we just sitting on it. And I had let a couple people hear it, like in our like group chat and our like our media circles, right? And they're like, so when you drop it, it's like it sounds like it's ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well,
you know,
let's
some
put it
music
out.
sounds like it's ready.
Yeah, let's just put it out.
You know, somebody could play you 8 tracks in that one joint. You be like, that sound like tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sounds like yesterday.
Yeah,
Like,
we got
let's go.
a good circle of people who are brutally honest with some
Right,
stuff.
right.
They got a good.
And that's the main thing.
Man, you need people to tell you, like, I know you might be feeling this, but this ain't. You need to do
Yeah, and for me, it's
that
usually
you
the other.
slacking.
It's usually the
Time
other
to go.
way. It's like, yo, I don't know if you not feeling this joint, and that's why you ain't put it out.
Yeah,
but this
exactly.
is it. Like
That's
put
what
it
I was
out.
saying,
Like, my circle is more on that side. It's like, yo, press the button. Like, stop playing. Like,
How often do you make a beat?
It hasn't been as often recently. Actually, I gotta re-up. I had to switch up computers.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that comes with it.
That comes with
That comes with it.
But also with with starting back in school and stuff, it was
Absolutely.
like that little time.
I know
go
you
through-
grown now.
Yeah. But I go through pockets. Like I have times. A lot of times is when I'm inspired too.
Mhm.
So I have pockets when I'm like, all right, I'm feeling like some. Usually, if something else comes out and I hear something that really inspires me, I still got a lot of beats that I've made when I was really in the bag, and a lot of people haven't heard.
Yeah.
But it's usually
I'm sure.
sometimes a project to come out and like give me inspired. Usually, like if Alchemist would put out something like when he put out that the Holy Book joint,
Yeah.
that Christian joint.
with Derringer on the
Yeah, and I was
second
just
track.
listening, and we were both, because I was going through this Sunday school thing and all the other stuff. Before that, I had a whole vibe, but that's another thing. We always have these ideas before the wave, and then people come out, and we be like,
I know
yo,
you just referred to
thinking
the
about
Sunday
that.
school thing. You mean putting out content on Sunday?
Yeah, it was going to be a whole lot.
Oh, because I've heard
But
Sunday school using a couple different.
putting out things on Sunday. Only gospel
I was
samples
sampling
that he's
only gospel
flipping.
samples and-
Oh, a whole
We
entire.
filmed all the
'Cause
content
people have
at a
watered down
school.
versions of
Yeah,
it.
it was a whole thing.
It was
We
a
had
whole
thing.
It's
but-
still coming.
Yeah,
but it's another one of them things where I'm like just holding on to the stuff. Like we filmed all right, so we filmed a whole season of a show called Sunday School with Wes Manchild. It was him interviewing people in the city, MCs, up and coming MCs, interviews them, and then they go and present in front of the class. So they go in front of the chalkboard and spit their verse off of a sample that he flipped. That's a gospel sample. So
Dope.
Sunday School with Wes Manchild. And he's got, he interviewed Spade, Antoine Davis, Stassi. I'm on there. A bunch of people is on there, and I don't know. It's just on my hard drive. We just gotta.
And it's funny because I asked about the frequency of your production because just how the two of you work together all the time. Both of your creative energies have to coincide at some point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we all, as creatives, have our spurts.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just like I asked you, what's the go time for you? When do you decide? And just like he said, based on life or based on feeling, based on inspiration, there's different times for when that creativeness overflows and times where it's dormant.
Yeah.
Sometimes where you just gotta breathe.
Yeah, and with me, I can't force it.
With
I
me,
don't
it's
like
just.
to force it.
I don't think
it's
you should
just-
ever force
It's just
music.
too much. It's like I'm always inspired to create, but I create in so many different ways. So it's like, am I inspired to create another beer? Am I inspired to create some more merch? Am I inspired
Which is
to
important.
create a show? Am I inspired to create a network? Am I inspired to write a rhyme? Like
I
I'm
think that's
inspired all the
important.
time to do different stuff, but
I think it's important to explore all of those things because if you pigeonhole yourself and you tell yourself, this is what I do, this is what I have to do, and before I can do this, I have to do this, then you block up your frequency.
Right.
That's an expression that you need to get out to let the other things flow. So once you get that off, then you could go back or move over or go left or right or what have you. I think that's important.
Facts.
And I think that that's what we've learned in our generation of this hip-hop thing. Because like we said, it's a young genre. We've seen people show that, man, I can still do this, that, and the third and come back around. And it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fans' opinions mattered a lot, too much to the point where the artist suffered because of it. And you don't want to be a suffering artist, even if you're a starving artist. And I know Chill ain't starving. Chill, they gave you a car like a year ago, right?
They gave me 2 cars.
Sheesh. They're giving out cars.
Gotta give you 2 cars.
I saw, what was it?
Sammie got me 2 sweaters. And,
yeah, man.
I gave him Jones back.
You gave him back?
It was just for a nice period of time.
Yeah, I was about to say
that
nice period of time. I know how those
drive around the city, show people that you co-sign our brand. It was Chevy, and they were sending me the Impalas that was coming out the year after that. Right. Jones had Wi-Fi in them, all kind of crazy stuff.
That was a good look, though. I remember
good times.
It's a great look.
Good times.
And I just posted it because I thought it was dope. Like they didn't ask me to post. They like, yo, just take the car. People seeing you in it is enough. And I'm like, okay, you just gave me a car. I'm gonna post
that's
it.
But see,
they don't even own a car.
That's big business. The same way that somebody would give me a T-shirt because they think I'm gonna be in the right picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, same thing. It
that's bigger
there.
Business. Yeah. Like it's the same thing, and it's marketing. The same things that we love to do.
And what happens is you take you apply those methods to everything. You know, car and a T-shirt be the same thing. I mean, like, you got to just apply that same thought, the same process to all of that.
And while they're using you for their end, you use them to your end, and you learn.
You got to find a way to make it mutually beneficial
from there. And that's what's important. And that's where a lot of people's frustration come from, because they want right now, where they're not even watching the steps that's being taken around and things that they're being shown, and the opportunity that they be given, even if it seems minimum compared to what they think they should get. Like, you got to use things as a stepping stool to get to the next plateau. Sure. And one thing I wanted to say is salute to both of y'all, because both of y'all are legendary in the area. I don't want to say the city because y'all in the area. Chill, we know Chill runs around music ambassador for the city, which is a major thing. I don't even know how you become that as a young man. Like, I figured you would have to be like, up there, gambling Huff or something like to do that.
Chill
but
Davis.
Chill did that. Chill, how long you been an ambassador?
Going on 4 years now.
Sheesh.
Going on 4 years. I've been there. Maybe 5.
What did you when did you know what it was? Did you like when you first got the position? I don't know how it came about.
Councilman David O had an initiative called PHL Live Center Stage.
Right.
And he brought me in to help do consulting on that. And they named me, the ambassador of that initiative. And
like when they give you the key to the city of your own day, they just spring it on you?
Something like that, yeah. So they was like, yo, he's the ambassador of this program, but then that blossomed into,
that's
he's
real
he's
position.
Bigger than this. Yeah, so it was, I just was at City Hall, what's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
So Monday, I was at City Hall.
You just applauded City Hall. Yo.
What was I down there for? Oh, so we just you definitely applauded City Hall. I could have just been there, like I stopped through there, like,
everybody,
and then I left. Like that's the most good.
It's the subway there.
Yeah, the L is there. I can't just I was down there. We had to present in front of City Council trying to get these new bills passed, and the bills did get passed.
Awesome.
So we're and
it was applaud that though.
It was something simple, but now
no applause for legislature.
Now venues will have like loading zones for people to unload and not get parking tickets because that is like a problem.
I was about to say,
because that's a problem that we face as artists. But the thing that I've learned about city council and about politics and things like that, if you don't tell them that that's a problem, they don't know that that's a problem.
Do they care when you tell them?
Yeah.
How often?
Every time I've told them they cared.
I mean, this is important to know.
Every time I told them they've cared because I care about things that are simple to adjust. It's like, dog, David O has never had the plight of pulling up to the TLA, unloading the DJ equipment, and coming back with a parking ticket. Oh, yeah. But when I tell him, he's like, oh, that's BS. Like, no, let's fix that.
That's kind of like what we were talking about on Tall Table Talk last night. Like, there's these outlets, and people are there, but people just don't go holler at them. They just complain about it and don't do nothing about it.
They're literally there for you.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
that's a lot
see,
of people
that's
don't
what-
know the political process.
and that's why I'm saying.
But
That's why I'm asking the questions
can
as
holler
far
at
as
congressmen
how
and
often.
senators.
But
because people will tell you all the
that's-
time our voice doesn't matter. He said almost every time he says something, they understand
But
it.
there are people who write to their senators and congressmen all the time. It's just people from our community.
But that's who need to hit. That's who we.
That's
This
what
is
they
most
was
slept
saying.
on. We
It
are the
works.
most slept on community.
Yeah,
But that's why my position is important because I serve as that liaison, that middleman between the city and the city. So, you got a problem, I can take it to the city. And if the city has something an initiative or an opportunity, I can bring it to the city. I mean, I'm doing quotes like people can see them, but
Yeah, he's definitely got air quotes.
But you know what I'm saying.
But
the city,
and if you hear him bouncing, then you know the quotes come with the bounce.
Right. So but that's what I'm saying. I can take these problems to them, and I can also bring the opportunities back to us because
And that's what I like.
Appreciate that,
That's why I
because-
like talking to y'all because it's crazy. Y'all keep taking me to my points. I started this saluting y'all because what you guys have done in the city and continue to do throughout the area is important. What Chill does every day when he's in them rooms expressing things for the DJ and for the artist to get into the venue correctly, those are things that we deal with that we don't have the voice or we don't know how to get to those places, and he's using that correctly. And I appreciate y'all for that. You know what I mean? For everything that y'all do, for what you do with the community, with the students, for what's been done through music, for what's been done through philanthropy. You know what I mean? Because all of these things are important. But this is Most Slept On Radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. And it is time for a couple more commercials. So we'll be right back at y'all.
Hey, yo, when we come back, you mind if I spin 1-2 of these joints?
Yeah, for sure.
We about to spin them now.
Yeah.
And then we're
We're
going
gonna
to come
get
back
right
and close
into
it out the right way.
The Philadelphia Freedom Project appreciates the support of Most Slept On radio hosts Sam Malone, Teef, K, Big Cuz in support of 10,000 Basketballs for Philly Youth Campaign. If one basketball can keep 10 plus teenagers busy for in the evening, imagine what 10,000 could do. Join us in our efforts to curb street violence by providing an activity simply with a basketball at GoFundMe. Search 10,000 Basketballs, Philadelphia Freedom Project on GoFundMe to support our efforts. And now back to our show.
Very important to keep the teeth sharp. As we prepare this entree, it's only right I give him a little bit of an appetizer. Wes Manchild. Let's go. Still hungry as them first shows, Mill Creek on a late night. Back when Valencia kept the braids tight. Should fear no man, but had stage fright. No signs of ever slowing down, a busted brake light. Cops stay patrolling, so I kept my composure, yo. Raised by the OGs, I'm Kaloja, though. Sure they loving my voice. Speak to the box, you feel the love below. Hold up. Might ain't heard me in a while, but you damn sure seen me. Plans to be the prince, no PD. I took the scenic, stayed by the cement. The rose that arose like a phoenix. They all bear witness, no subpoenas. Man's turned his cuz to a blood, he was anemic. Wasn't with it, forced to throw it up, that's bulimic. Happens every day. Ripley don't believe it, they all turn away cause it's convenient. Look, I rep the land of the underdog, the rock never fumbled that. You kids at dinner, they sick of him, or will run it back. Your idols rock blouses. Mine's rock the red and black lumberjack, you understand, our cloth's different. This year we after straight cash, homie, a Mars mission. Adding like 4 more digits, I'm talking long distance. It's 21.5, but we can take it anyway. Hold up, fly sweats for the winter. Feeling good, I'm picking up the check for the dinner. Whole squad is eating. We head out to Vegas and body weekend. Shorty don't know the language, but her body's speaking. Honest even to a fault, it's all he ever heard. Poured your wisdom, swear I struck every nerve. True story. Well aware I'm what some would fear. My own merit. I ain't here cause they know me cause I'm here. Yeah. While you was playing, I grew a brand. Hopped out the box, then made a line that I drew in sand. That's where it started, and you was saying elevation got my ears popping. Play this right, I could be lyric shopping. Ain't nowhere near copping, but feels good to know it's youngins from my hood that's watching, seeing that there's options. I deliver, grew up near Stockton. My year was popping, but They just wanna know when the beer's dropping. From where they block been, fear was never nowhere near an option. Living lawless and don't adhere to doctrines. See my man's face light up when his dad would pop in. Where we grew up trying to figure where his pop went. Look, that's neither here nor there, just talking cause it's true. Heard it's hurricane season, told West to bring it through. That's that tangerine green, got us thinking about the youth. Roll up. This the way that they wanna hear me. Some are fear me, the some is clearly understood. The sun is good, especially when no one is near me. Introverted, judgment came early, we dismissed the verdict. Flow water, stretch the dish detergent, shake it up a bit. Promise a shot of success, nah, I brewed the whole batch and drank a cup of it. Finished that while I was working on an album. No be surprised when this LP comes with an oven mitt. Expanding my ventures, Lil told me keep the teeth sharp, chill, you won't do much damage with dentures. When it come to inspiration, or the clan gets a mention. The plan is to be the man, then I'm demanding attention. When they saying it's fiction, hear them gossiping. I tell them time and time again, I guess they ain't a fan of retention. I ain't get here on my first try. I took a bird's eye stand from a distance to understand my position. We at the starting line.
Ring full of fire, ice in my veins at all times. Mindset on death before the sign up. But won't forget you knock the ladder down on the climb up. No, we not friendly smoke with us when we come in. Make money, money, take money, money, money. Make no mistake, we came for all that or nothing. Breaks, we don't take no breaks. This is how we coming.
We screaming, make money, money, take money, money, money. Known to give it my all, but you won't take nothing from me. Built with the greats on how to deal with the hate. Out in Philly, they'll find shade. It's always sunny. I'm ready, yeah, climb the ladder and I shed a tear. Blood in my eyes, shirt red like I said it years, said it clear. I was trying to better my career. The bar is high cause I said it there. Move with love instead of fear. Tried to wake you, you insisted on a sedative. Claimed a nice year, figured I make it repetitive, consecutive. More than a rapper, I'm an executive. How we competing? This ain't even competitive. Negative, know what I represent. And it's no adjacents. I take the blame for all delays. Thanks for showing patience. Hood to Hollywood, call on all appropriation. I'll leave that to your interpretation. It's motivation.
Ring full of fire, ice in my veins at all times. Mindset on death before the sign up. But won't forget you knock the ladder down on the climb up. No, we not friendly smoke with us when we come in. Make money, money, take money, money, money. Make no mistake, we came for all that or nothing. Breaks, we don't take no breaks. This is how we coming.
Ain't nowhere near finished yet. Been in position and been a threat since thought let it burn. Broke the internet. At first I gave you a line of credit. Time to take it back. I hate the fact you lying every line like you hate the facts. The team straight for the culture's doing great for facts. Jay Berg let the paper stack. T took a knee like Kaepernick. He happily gon' fade to black. My life's like a movie, but get the paper back. It's time to get this paper back.
Ring full of fire, ice in my veins at all times. Mindset on death before the sign up. But won't forget you knock the ladder down on the climb up. No, we not friendly smoke with us when we come in. Make money, money, take money, money, money. Make no mistake, we came for all that or nothing. Breaks, we don't take no breaks. This is how we coming.
Most slept on radio, Uptown Radio, WJYN 98.5 FM. If you heard Get Your, then they was talking to me, because that's what I do. I sip. You are sipping with Sammie. You are chilling like Moody. You are with the West of the Manchild. And that is the Teefiest with the Maximus with the biggest cousin there was, man. Since we shouting out aliases and talking about monikers and stuff, man.
Appreciate you playing them Jones too, man.
Yeah, oh, no problem, man. We got to let the people
Tough
know
tunes,
man.
Joints. Tough tunes,
So
man.
that sample, you ain't catch it? You didn't catch it?
The second one.
No, not that one.
The first one, I can't. I know it in my head. I just can't think of the name of the joint.
You gotta be OG.
The Whispers. Love is where you find it.
Okay, all right.
Clearly it's been cleared.
I'm a big fan of funk and classic rock too.
Right.
Well, jazz. My order is jazz, hip hop, like funk, and then classic rock. Those are my top 4 favorites.
What's heavy on that classic rock? That's a lot of
They
stuff.
got some joints, man.
That.
A lot of samples.
Queen, Chicago, Steely Dan got a couple of joints.
Steely Dan. Any producer.
Yeah.
Listen, Chicago, Steely Dan, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. All that stuff from like that.
Graham Central Station, I was rocking them early.
You ain't on White Snake.
Tower of Power.
Yeah, White Snake.
80s stuff is like
White Snake, though.
Even though Inspired was an 80s joint, our very first like single. That was Journey.
Journey.
Sample
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Wow.
I was listening to the original last week. I was about to.
Because I never produced like I've done like 2 or 3 tracks that I actually put out, but I just did them for myself. But when I was messing around, shout out to DJ Rashawn, he sold me his Phantom keyboard, so I was just messing around.
Phantom days.
But rock Jones they're fun to sample.
Yeah.
Because you can do so much. You paying it left, you might hear something that you ain't hear before or whatever.
And then on top of that, when I perform with a live band, so
a lot of times
when we're able to get the guitar player to go in on that, it bring a whole different vibe.
A lot
to
of
the show.
the rock joints, like sample joints I've done, are usually some of his
I still perform.
Like November
Funk. I still perform from November Rain.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you use the same band or you just piece guys together as it comes along?
Same core group of guys, but it just switch.
Okay.
It's a rotating, you know what I mean? So sometimes, like I say, we was talking earlier, sometimes it might calls for me to bring out the horn section, the bass, the keys, and all of that. Sometimes it's just me, the drummer, the DJ. Sometimes me, drummer, DJ, saxophone. Because this new album, further down the road, this Horns at the Funeral project I've been working on for a while.
Wow.
I keep the sax guy with me, my guy Henry Turf. I keep him with me.
Oh yeah, I met him before, yo. He's nasty.
And that becomes the basis of the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Now look, we getting towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
Had a great time with you fellas, man.
Great conversation.
Most slept on folks, man, holding it down. I want to make sure that y'all get your contact information and your upcoming projects or shows, whatever have you, out before we get off here. So let the people know where they can reach you and what y'all got going on.
Everything Wes Manchild. That's Wes like Wesley, not with a T. West, because everybody get that confused.
Okay.
Yeah. But Wes Manchild is everything, all the socials and everything. West Chili 2 coming. That's basically all it needs to be. You'll see everything.
Yeah.
West Chili 2. He said he turned away from the mic.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, that's a look away like
yeah, same with me. Everything is Chill Moody, spelled exactly how it sounds. Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. West Chili 2 is coming soon. We're gonna make those announcements soon. And I'm heading out on tour next Wednesday.
What's the name of the tour?
Yeah.
I'm going on tour with this rock band called Low Cut Connie.
Okay.
Check out Low Cut Connie. Very, very dope rock band. Barack Obama had him on his Spotify playlist, invited him to the White House.
Word.
Nice.
Elton John's co-signing them, Howard Stern's co-signing them.
Word.
They're on Rolling Stone, all kind of stuff. Local
and
guys.
now Chill is co-signing them because he on the road with them folk, man.
So
a lot of exposure.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
they bringing me and Don T on
And
the
they
road with
co-signing
them.
Chill.
Me and Don T connected and made this group called And More, and we're going on tour with Low Cut Connie. So we leave on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm missing it.
Well, have a safe tour, man.
Yeah,
have a great tour,
we
man.
hitting,
Learn all you can learn. Tear their ass down, man.
quick situations, but we hitting Boston, Connecticut, Vermont, DC, York, and Pittsburgh. Quick joint.
Dope.
Nice things.
But man, it's been another great episode of Most Slept On Radio, 98.5 Uptown Radio. I am Sam Malone, sipping with Sammie Barstool Rue. You can catch me tomorrow at Warm Daddy's. I'm hosting the event at 8:30.
Cornbread.
I'm hosting, hopefully it's in the budget because I don't want to take it out my payola. You know, I'm steezy. But hopefully they got me a little shot of cognac and some cornbread. I'm good with that.
Cognac and cornbread.
Cognac and cornbread. I don't ask for much. And y'all can also catch me on Friday, Flyboy Radio, Glockaway Radio, 4 to 6 p.m. every Friday. We are on there in the Situation Room. It's lit. The best happy hour in the city. Make sure y'all check me out. I'm going to have Wes Manchild and Chill through there soon. I'm going to just put that out there, man. We'll figure it out. Man. We got to get the schedule popping.
It's a good move. Yo,
it's a great time.
No,
I got the new come up. I ain't going to lie. But Teef, what you got going on, man?
All right, tomorrow is Thorough Thursdays at the Fire, trying to keep the fire kindling. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it lit.
Thorough Thursdays, and then you got the Dance Project on Fridays at the Fire. It's happy hour DJs in there. You know what I'm saying? We chilling.
Yeah.
Friday night is the Rich Quick Memorial Tribute at Voltage.
I'm sliding. We all gonna be there. Yeah, we all be there.
City's been coming together. Yes, indeed. It's been bringing a lot of people together, though, man.
Well, one thing that I want people to do
that we should have been having amongst each other.
And
too,
if you
man.
care about Rich, celebrate the energy that we love from him, man. Keep being
dude,
creative, keep rocking these shows, keep his name lit, and keep being the best form of you creatively that you could be, because that's what Rich wanted out of all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's keep it G.
All facts.
Richard come to you and start giving you props. He's like, no, I'm trying to give you props, dog. Like,
that's the energy.
Pointers always had. I mean,
you know,
whatever.
Let's keep the energy up. Let's keep saying nice things to each other, man. Let's keep doing nice things. And we out of this.
I got one more joint.
What we doing?
I
got something.
Cuz, hold up.
Wait, let me shout one more event. We got 3 minutes.
Oh, you lit. No, this clock is fast.
Yeah, it's fast. I got the actual time.
That's why.
Oh, that's to keep us on time.
We got an event called Remember When Rap Was Fun at the Fire. It's me, Teef, Biz Mighty, and Khalil Ali.
That's Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Word.
I'll be there Sunday.
We was talking at the venue. They like, yo, Teef, you ain't done a show here in a while, don't you? I was like, all right. So
you know, I did a project with Biz.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the man. He's highly talented.
Me and Boogeyman Della did a project with him and Steve. Called,
Shout
for
to
the
Steve.
children.
For the children.
For the children.
It's hilarious. You got
I'll check it out. Shout out to
Why was
Manchild
Manchild involved in all the comedy? Cuz, what you got going on, Pimp?
Well, I just want to wrap up the show. Thank you, Wes Manchild. I found out about Mosaic Beer, West Chili 1, West Chili 2, The Price is Right samples, Sunday School with Wes Manchild. I'm checking it out. And we definitely going to put them concert PPA tickets back into the music community. I'm voting for Chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say, man. We will have the Vote Chill Moody posters and stickers and beer mugs soon.
I'm not running for mayor, man. They gotta appoint
man.
me. If they don't appoint me, I don't want the
No,
job.
we need you at governor.
Give me the job.
We need you at governor. He said I ain't running.
Gotta be.
He said I don't run. I did see you in celebrity games. He still runs, by the way. But yo, it's been a great show.
Hold on, can I get my shout out?
Give your shout out. You just had your 3 minutes.
I was just doing a quick rundown. Let me do what I gotta do. Shout out my cousin. We got celebrity situation. Anyway, I want to shout out the Philadelphia Freedom Project Treasurer. Just opened up $300 to go towards our $1,500 campaign.
Word.
He did a situation with
Awesome.
PayPal. So we're about I'd say we're about like
12.
1/3 the way there for our next installment of passing out 300 basketballs on the streets of Philly. If you're interested, just search the hashtag.
We just gave out 300.
It's a simple hashtag, 10,000 basketballs, the number 10,000, and then basketballs, and then it'll come up on GoFundMe. Thank you.
All right, cuz. You know what, cuz? I'm glad I let you have another moment because that was important. We just gave out 300 basketballs. We want to keep giving out basketballs. We want to give out 1 million. If you know anything about children, you know one basketball can entertain 30 kids. You know what I mean? The more we can do, the more we can do, man. Make sure y'all reach out to everybody that's doing something that's positive, man. Make sure y'all support Chill Moody, Wes Manchild, and Most Slept On Radio at all times. See y'all next week, 7 to 9 p.m. on 98.5 FM, WJYN, Uptown Radio.
You are listening to the Most Slept On Radio Show, broadcasting live, WJYN 98.5 FM. If you like any additional information about tonight's show, guests, host, or to help fund the restoration of the historic Uptown Theater, please send an email to info@mostslepton.com, info@mostslepton.com. Now, back to our show with your host, Sam Malone, Sipping with Sammie on Most Slept On Radio.